So it's great training ground because a phenomenal performance you give in the show that I mentioned I wanted to talk about at the start. And I would suggest if anyone hasn't seen this, it's still available on BBC iPlayer. It's amazing. It's The North Water. I'll give a very brief synopsis. It's about a whaling ship that sinks in the Arctic ice in the mid-19th century, and the survivors, there's murder, there's mystery. These men are trying to survive on the ice. It's got, if anyone ever saw the AMC series, The Terror, it's got vibes like that to it. What was it like becoming part of that show?
Alex, I'm just obsessed with Colin Farrell. It's Colin Farrell. I mean, I was like, what? Honestly, being anywhere near him was the coolest thing ever. I never in my wildest dreams thought I could have been on the same set as somebody that epic. And he was the loveliest human being, just so cool and hilarious. And I was so petrified because I'd been mainly doing The Last Kingdom for so many years. So it was one of the sort of first shows like that we got that was different to that. And I was so lucky because not only was it filming in Budapest, just like The Last Kingdom, so it really felt like home. One of my best friends, Mark Rowley, who plays Finan in The Last Kingdom, also got to play a sailor in The North Water. So I was like, oh, this is lovely. So it was just felt like home. So I got to be with him as well as being in Budapest. But then, yeah, just watching Colin Farrell honestly just transform in front of our eyes was the best thing I've ever seen. And you know, I definitely just got to watch so much because my character Hester, she's kind of like always hanging out at the tavern. She's Lady of the Night. So it was really just me as Eliza though as well, you know, in between everything, just watching all of the incredible actors coming in and out, you know, as well, like Stephen Graham. Oh my goodness, it was just like Jack O'Connell. It was honestly beautiful, and the world of it was so gorgeous. And obviously when I watched it, I was just so mesmerized by all that work they'd done in the Arctic. I mean, because the majority of the show is actually set, you know, in that exact world, and they really did film there. And the stories from that were just mind-blowing because Mark and I we were in the Budapest set. So yeah, to get to hear what they were up to was just astonishing. And like the whole show is seriously something else, and it's terrifying at the same time, isn't it? It's, you know,
oh my gosh,
you don't know where to look, and it's just, and Colin Farrell is such a monstrous character too. He really just delves into that character so beautifully, and like he'd be all jovial and adorable on set, and oh yeah, right, lovely, yeah, there you go. And he was always drinking like full fat Coke as well to get like as kind of big as possible. He really did like on weight, and he was just wicked. But then, you know, then he just like turned into this horrifically frightening person. I was like, I love that. I just loved being a fly on the wall for such an extraordinary show. It was beautiful. It's so stunning to watch it, of course, as well.
Well, let's bring ourselves up to date because, as I mentioned, you're soon to be seen in the upcoming Sky crime series, A Town Called Malice, due out on March the 16th. Sky Max, created by Nick Love, who's given us the likes of The Football Factory and The Business. Tell us a little bit about the show and what we can expect.
Speaking of Nick Love, he is absolutely magnificent. Oh, Alex, honestly, to get to, again, work with such a magnificent person was just brilliant. I couldn't in my wildest dreams again imagine I could get to work with somebody like that. And I watched so many of Nick Love's movies and just really delved into that fantastic world. And so A Town Called Malice is sort of like a lot of his works kind of put together, but it's just like an ode and a love to South London, but as well as like the Costa del Sol scene, as well as 80s music. It's the landscape of the show is so cinematic, but it's so musically driven, but in a beautiful way. Like the music's like another character and another dimension of the story. It's such an important part of it. And I don't know anyone who doesn't love 80s music. I honestly think it's like everyone's favorite era. If you're like, what's your favorite? I was like, 80s. Like, it's just so much fun, and like it's so electric and it's so vivid, and so the show absolutely captures that. It is completely at its heart, and the characters are brilliant, and the show goes in so many different directions. Just when you think you've worked out who this character is or what's going to happen in the plot, no, it just twists and turns a completely different way, and you sort of fall in love with everybody, even if they have really sort of dark and scary facets. You know, everybody's got a really cool core, and you're really trying to work out what they're doing next. And it's based on this family called the Lords, who are from South London, and it basically just follows their crazy life and their chaos, but also amongst our phenomenal protagonist, who's played by Tahira Sharif, who's like one of my favorite actors. She's incredible, and she plays Cindy, and I won't say much more, but it's just chaos on chaos on chaos, but set to the most beautiful, vivid, colourful gorgeous cinematic world, and it's also so much fun. It's got so much heart. It's so hilarious and gritty, and it's got a bit of everything in it. It's stunning and very romantic as well at the same time.
I can't wait. It sounds great.
All those adjectives at you like that.
No, it does. It sounds really good. And also it stars a man who I just love watching on screen, Jason Fleming. You were filming for 5 months, I think, out in Tenerife. How was that? How was it working with Jason as well? Like I said, huge fan.
Oh, Alex, it was an absolute dream. I'm the biggest fan as well. And getting to meet him in real life, I was like, what? And again, just the loveliest soul on the planet. I can't even emphasize enough the loveliness of Jason, but the whole cast, we really just got on like that. And it was so special because I'd done The Last Kingdom for nearly 8 years, and we are such a close cast, such a family. And so I always thought, like, I don't know if I'll ever get to experience that again. It's such a rare feeling to sort of have with a group of people. You're sort of thrust together. It's often abroad, you know, it could be quite scary, but everybody was absolutely gorgeous, and so that made the show beautiful. And you can see, I think, in a show where people do get along, you know, even if their characters maybe are against one another, there's a connection and a bond that's almost you can't describe, but I feel like it's between the cast. So we had that, and Jason is mind-blowing. So he plays our head honcho, if you like. He's Albert Lord, and he is the head of the family, so he's the father of the Lords. And after him, you've got the phenomenal Martha Plimpton as Mint Ma. I mean, the two of them are like the powerhouse couple of everything. And then their children are the 3 Lord boys. So it follows every single character, and it's just so special. And yeah, working with such icons like Martha and Jason, it was like ridiculous. And I learned so much, and we had so much fun. And they have so many great stories as well from their whole career as actors. So that was wonderful.
Brilliant. Well, March the 16th, I'm right in thinking that, aren't I? March the 16th, it hits Sky.
Yes. Thank you, Alex. Thank you. Prepare for the 80s. Get your mullet out. Get your neon, your neon tops out. It is, honestly, it's a wild ride. And get your South London accent out. Get that out as well.
Is your character from South London? So were you using a South London accent?
Yeah, I'm called Carly Lord in it. So I'm like a mobster's wife, if you like. Very glamorous, very like fun, ditzy, but at the same time, I've got like heart of gold. So I don't like that does it. But Carly is a really fun character. She is just so fabulous. And she goes on such a journey. You feel like you've worked her out in the first couple of episodes, and then she completely, changes just because the circumstances just affect all of them. And it just goes from one extreme to the other out in the Costa del Sol. So it's a lot of fun. Like, we had so much fun playing these roles. It's gorgeous.
A wild